VSCRA, Virginia Sierra Club. Thank you for making sure all the members got our coalition to, as we move forward, to stop North Anna 3, the project. At the recent Dominion shareholders meeting, Tom Farrell has again stated they're not fully committed to this project because they want to see how the clean energy plan hands out, so to speak, and at the same time we have quite a few of our legislators that want to not really participate in the plan and all the legalities and stuff that come up. Part of the coalition that I'm with, we think that North Anna 3 is a very bad idea because it's in the Virginia seismic zone, as well as the representative with Dominion has stated that it would be far north of $10 billion, and it would take about 13 years to bring it online. Mind you that this reactor has never been built or commercially operated anywhere in the world, and it exists only on paper. This would be a huge gamble for us here in Virginia, and obviously not worth the risk or the cost. And talking with the gentleman, Craig, I'm sorry, what was his last name?
Pierce.
His presentation was very good because I think everyone here got a chance to see what our nuclear waste is going to look like in a few years. And I'm glad he mentioned that Yucca Mountain would already be full from what we already have. And, you know, obviously the administration is talking about separating high-level nuclear waste from the weapons-grade waste and that sort of thing. So we have a huge waste problem already. Interim waste storage, I mean, all these things are going to take a while to pan out as we continue to make nuclear waste. And so this is a problem because under the clean energy plan, you know, what I heard is how the nuclear industry wants to jump on board saying that they are the solution for CO2 emissions. But what is not being stated is there are routine, constant releases of gaseous emissions and other effluents that are radioactive, which are harmful to the environment, which a lot of them are cumulative also. So it's not just carbon emissions. The public is going to basically fight back with this to get the EPA on board. It's not just about carbon. Well, we got carbon-14, strontium, cesium, tritium. I mean, you could go down the list, and I say that because I attended the annual, like I do on a regular basis, meeting for the assessment for North Anna. And for years, Dominion, I'm sorry David's not here today with Dominion, for years, Dominion has not been able to find the source of the leak, the tritium leak, that is 3 times, almost, because we're like almost at 70,000 picocuries of tritium at North Anna. They have not been able to find the tritium leak for years now. They've dug another well. It is in the protective area. It's in one well. But they haven't been able to find the source. So as a member of the public and also with Virginia Sierra Club, we have to question, you know, we've got this ongoing leak of tritium, and it is one of the lesser radioactive elements maybe that we could say, but it shows something. It shows we have an ongoing problem, something as, quote, unquote, not as dangerous as the other radioactive nuclides, and they can't find the source. They can't fix the problem. So, you know, how are we supposed to expect that going forward with a new reactor that only exists on paper is even an incredible idea? And so that is a big problem. And this idea of saying that we're going to create somewhere, you know, in the range of hundreds of new reactors, you know, in the next 10 years is just ridiculous. If anything, in the next 10 years, we're probably going to have another accident on our own soil if we keep going at the rate we're going, because the reactors are getting old, they're starting to break down and have problems. So this idea, all these forward-looking statements of new reactors and this, that, and the other. We have a huge waste problem already. And to stay even further is the NRC's allowed industry to put the cart before the horse for years. Hence the reason why we have high burnout fuel and Dominion making us the test site at North Anna, a demonstration cast that's going to enter in, 4 different cladding rods and see what happens. I mean, I've been attending these meetings on high burnout fuel, and I am quite alarmed because we really don't know. There's only been one dry cast that's ever been opened in the history. It's been 20 years ago, and we don't even have the facility now to examine a cast. And I've been talking to the NRC reps, and it's alarming because, again, we want to keep churning it out. Let's keep churning it out. Even the new reactors that we have going down in Georgia and South Carolina are going to produce more of the same kind of waste and the same kind of problems. These new generation things, as stated, 20, 30 years from now, maybe, the nuclear industry wants the public to think that mankind's not smart enough how to store energy overnight when the nuclear industry will come up with a solution for storing nuclear waste forever. It's ridiculous. The time has come. The announcement came out a few weeks back, Tesla's home battery pack. Don't worry about these people in other countries. They can be able to do distributed energy, solar, and store it overnight in their battery pack. No need for this huge idea of 20, 30 years from now, socking in billions of dollars for all this, hoop and holler for base-load nuclear power. It's not the wave of the future. The wave of the future is distributed energy, true clean energy. It's not just not emitting the CO2 emissions, but it's not doing the tritium, the strontium, the cesium, the argon, this krypton, and da. I mean, I encourage everybody to get the recent annual report, the Virginia Electric and Power Company, Dominion, North Anna Power Station Unit numbers 1 and 2, Independent Spent Fuel Storage Installation, Annual Radioactive Effluent Release Report. You will see that we have a lot of stuff coming out of that facility already, and this is not uncommon. It's every year, except for the elevated levels of tritium because they can't find the leak. And industry across the board has not been able to figure out how to remove radioactive tritium from water anyway. So that's something maybe the nuclear industry and the consortium or the authority really needs to work on, is how do we get these radionuclides out of the environment. We have a storage problem already with high-level nuclear waste. I'm not going to have a whole lot of places raise their hands, and even then, look at, how long will it take to build something? The main thing that what I'm concerned with is this idea that we can store nuclear waste, the high level, the high burnup, which we don't have the data, Dominion, which I'm still waiting for someone to tell me what Virginia government official has stated that this experimental cast is okay for Virginia. Because all I'm hearing is Department of Energy and Dominion, and the NRC's overseeing it. So who signed us up? Because I still haven't gotten to the bottom of that. And the reason why I'm saying this is they know they have cladding problems. The old zircaloy, evidently they have problem pinholes and cracking. Last year we had 2 spent fuel rods that were broken. Okay, so we can get the stuff out, we can put it in the cast, we're going to find out if it'll be okay in 10 years and then send it off. But in reality, it's all this forward-looking stuff. It's not, there's no confirmation there what we're doing is really, truly safe. And so, why we continue to promote more nuclear and continue growing when we've got a waste problem, we might have a cast problem, we don't know yet. And really what the industry should do on these spent fuel, if they really want to know the truth, go ahead and open a cast. another one, since supposedly they've opened one in the history 20 years ago. Go ahead and open a cask that's 20 years old now and see what the rods look like. I mean, if they really want to do a true experiment. They don't need to wait. They don't need to put Virginia in harm's way by loading the cask with 4 different types of cladding and storing it there on a pad where 27 other casks are, and where our earthquake actually moved them up to 4.5 inches. I mean, go ahead and, you know, develop a facility, open a cask that, you know, it's already been there for 20 years and see what it looks like. Because I was told, well, we might not even have to open that cask after 10 years. You know, the gas readings might look fine. We're not basing things on real science. We're basing things on hypothetical, just a bunch of hype, hoping in 10 years or in 20 years or in 30 years these things will be okay, and just keep still churning it out. I'm sorry, that's just wrong. So really, in reality, you know, energy consumption's going down, and in Virginia, really, we almost meet the standards for the EPA Clean Energy Plan. We can meet them almost completely with efficiency measures. So the idea of spending another $10 billion or more for another reactor in a seismic zone is not going to pan out very well. I can guarantee you they're not going to put one down in Surrey, because Hampton Roads and the whole region down there with the rising tides and sinking land's not going to happen. So what can the Nuclear Energy Authority really do? It's going to be education, because somebody's going to have to run these facilities and actually decommission these facilities. And that's going to happen more quickly than we're going to see a build-up in the United States. Distributed energy and small modulars. I mean, I think somebody's here is a representative of Babcock and Wilcox, maybe? Mr. Cohen was it. Okay. Well, you know, I mean, you know, obviously, this summer they're spinning off their facility of their little modular reactor. They can't find a buyer. They're in financial straight in that sector of their business, so that's not going to happen for them. And you know, Areva is, you know, they're reporting losses and axed up to 6,000 jobs globally, and you know, so what we're seeing actually is a trend away from nuclear, because it is the most dangerous form of energy. It produces a waste product that's toxic forever and extremely expensive. And we are at a point where we know where we need to go. It's distributed energy. It's not small modulars, because then that will still create waste. And then we'll have our neighborhood or areas dotted with these facilities, would increase, in an era of terrorism, will increase our risk. So no, nuclear is not going to be the way to go. Where it's going to be helpful probably maybe is in the medical field, and in some certain sectors, I guess gauges, this, that, and the other. But when it comes from an energy source, it's just, it's outdated. And so, you know, I really feel like what we're going to see is we're going to see more of the facilities closing, hopefully sooner than later, because we don't need an accident somewhere, because then we'll be reeling like Fukushima's ongoing situation that's still reeling. So putting forth the energy and effort to, you know, I guess, have the educating young people that will be able to manage, because you know, the only thing I really heard from the governor at one of the meetings was, you know, that realizes that there's going to be a workforce problem, and because really most young people are not a lot of them are looking to go into nuclear. They're really looking to go into true renewables, where we're not going to have a waste product that is so toxic. So, and mind you, you know, here in Virginia, and the other reason why it's not really a feasible thing is we've had 14 earthquakes in the past year alone, and you know, people up in the area by North Anna, they're concerned because, yeah, you know, we could have something a lot stronger, and even at that case, we might not even need a stronger earthquake to do damage at North Anna 1 and 2 because it's already had a design basis that exceeded in some of the areas. And we just, it just might be a luck of the draw that a certain frequency, natural frequency, is hit at a certain point that will cause problems. So North Anna 1 and 2 is a risk. If Dominion is not going to be able to put forth this third reactor, because then we really would be putting all our eggs in one basket. Because I was reassured once at a meeting, oh, well, Erica, don't worry. Your Unit 3 will be 2 times as strong as 1 and 2. Tell me if that makes sense. If earthquake, Unit 1 or Unit 2 go down, what good is Unit 3 going to be there? It's going to be a nightmare. So no, not going to get the public's acceptance on that. So moving forward with the, not saying that I want or